virtual walkthrough on a 2018 Freedom Elite. We're just gonna get started. We're gonna start in the back here. You do have a receiver for towing and a 7-way for trailer wiring. It's got an 8,000 pound max tow weight and a max gross tongue weight of 500 pounds. So if you're looking to flat tow your vehicle, this is set up for that. If you have a dolly, this will probably need a brake controller installed. Ladder for climbing up on your roof. We have checked the roof for its needed maintenance. Definitely recommend every once in a while going up there too. Once or twice a year, taking a peek up there, spot sealing as needed. Coming around, this will be where you fill your fuel, obviously unleaded fuel only. Unscrew it, fill like you normally would. This compartment is really nice. Swings open wide, the door kind of stays open. Got lots of storage in here. You can slide some stuff up in there. I think ladders is always a good spot, one like a portable ladder or something, or some tables or whatnot. You can slide up in there, keep it up and out of the way. Plenty of storage in here. Previous owners left their blocks. We can leave them in here, or when they clean it, they may take them out. Or yeah, right down there is everyone's favorite part: your waste dumping. So. Gray one's your gray tank, black one's your black tank. Definitely recommend making sure those are closed before you take your handle off, the cap off to drain them. Then I always recommend doing black tank first and then gray. That's going to that's going to allow you to flush out your hose with the gray water. Got some stabilizer jacks here. Get you a 3/4 inch crank them down. You can use a drill with an adapter too. I don't believe they're powered, but I can double check right now. Nope, don't appear to be powered. But once again, I will double check. Oh, yep, they are. So there'll be a switch on the inside for them. And once we go around, we'll show you that. Short cord, 30 amp. This is your short cord. It will be in that compartment for you, so you guys know where it is. Just done. You're good to go. Right above it, hook up for cable. So if you are going somewhere that provides cable, you can hook it in through here and watch TV via cable. Not a lot of places still do that anymore. It's hard to find a place that has cable. This should just be extra storage, a little bit taller on the taller side, but it'd be good for some extra things. A light in here, we'll make sure that gets turned off and whatnot. Flip that back up, lock her down. City water connection, so this is where you're going to stick your hose. You're probably going to use your hose most of the time. If you're primitive camping, you fill it, but that's on the other side, and I'll show you how to get to that there. Propane, we are full. We'll make sure this dust cover gets put back on. So it is off now. So all the way to the right is off, and then all the way to the left, we'll turn the propane on. Compartment here. Access to any wiring and whatnot, storage. We'll make sure that gets locked up. This is for your generator. So if you wanted to, you could pop this panel open. Take that panel off, do any maintenance to your generator. We just put a fresh carburetor on this generator. Water heater, very simple. So we'll make sure this gets drained for you. But the gist of it is, this is all set up for you guys to use it. As soon as you hook up water, it'll start filling. And then you turn it on from the inside. Gas and electric, this one. I always recommend draining your tank after every trip. You don't want water sitting in there, become stagnant. After a while, it'll be smelly. So what you'll do is you're going to turn off your source of water. So if you got running city water, turn that off. You're gonna open this. Yep, water's going to come out like that. See, it's perfect. We're able to demonstrate to you guys. Once it stops squirting out, I always let it kind of come to an end. Snap that closed. Make sure you snap that instead of just letting it go. Snap it closed. Then you can take this drain plug off. 15/16 is the socket size for that. I use a socket. It's just a lot easier. And then you can drain it. You have to do this first. If you neglect to relieve the pressure first, the pressure is gonna come out of there. And if it's hot water, you're gonna get hot water all over you. You might lose the cap because it comes shooting out. Maintenance. just clean it every once in a while. Wipe everything down. I use compressed air to blow it out. Just keep in mind whenever you blow in through here, it's going to come out here. So you don't want to be in there with your face. You get a face full of soot, and that's no good. Coming around, we'll talk more about the cab once we go under the inside. We're coming all the way around back to your entry door. We'll kind of go this way and then come back. More storage here with a light in there too. Access to your refrigerator, so every once in a while it doesn't hurt to take this panel off and wipe everything down back there. Just kind of give it clean. You don't want to like spray anything with water. Just kind of wipe stuff down with a dry rag, get the dust off of stuff. Use compressed air to blow any cobwebs out of there. Similar thing for your furnace, except you don't want to use compressed air on your furnace. You'll just blow debris further in there, and it's going to cause further issues. So just kind of make sure you pick anything out that you see in there, wipe it down. I do make screens you can put on these. That's going to help prevent insects and whatnot from getting in there. Another storage compartment on the other side. So quite a bit of exterior storage in there, which is perfect. You do have your drain for your fresh tank, so open that up. Starts draining right now. There's a light in here. If I tell you to try this light, we'll turn that off so it doesn't drain the battery or nothing. Outdoor outlet. Your outdoor outlet is GFCI protected. All your GFCI outlets are on the same circuit, so if you trip one, you're going to trip the other ones too. When we go inside, we'll show you how to reset that. Fresh fill, so that's what's draining right now, so that's how you're draining it. This is where you'll fill it. Rest your hose in there. Don't jam a hose in there. Turn it on. There's a monitoring panel on there to tell you when it's full. When it's full, shut off the water, and then put your cap back on. There is an overflow here. That's kind of a vent, really, to let the air out, because when you put water in there, the air has to escape. But it can get to the point where water starts squirting over there. That means you overfilled it. Try not to get it to that point. Like I said, when a monitoring panel says full, shut the water off. Coming on in here, have a battery disconnect. So on or off here. You have your jacks right here. So, oh, sorry, door's blocking. So left and right jack. So for those two back stabilizers I was telling you, those are stabilizers. Those are not leveling jacks. So don't try to use them to pick up the camper. If you have the jacks down and you start the engine, or even put the key into accessory, these will buzz. That's letting you know that they're down. So just don't drive around with it buzzing, wondering what that noise is. Go out and raise your jacks. Battery disconnect's perfect. So if you're storing this unit and you can't have it plugged in or anything, disconnect your battery. It's going to keep anything from unnecessarily using voltage of your battery. There are a few appliances that always use, radio memory. Your LP alarm is always hooked to the battery. So I always like disconnecting it when I'm not using it. Now, if you can store it and you have the ability to keep this unit plugged in while you're storing it, make sure your battery is connected. Because if you disconnect the battery, the charge from this unit being plugged in doesn't reach the battery, which is underneath here. So make sure you disconnect it. Speaking of battery, that's up in here. Battery up in there. In the winter, like I said, if you can't plug this unit in to charge it in the winter, I recommend taking the battery completely out. If you are going to take this battery out, take pictures so you know the wires go back the way you took them off. Fire extinguisher right here, a little bit larger than most RV ones, so it's nice. Always keep in mind where that is and how to use it, just in case. I've never heard of anyone having to use their fire extinguisher, but there is one there. We got our control panel here, so you got your slide out controls, extend and retract. So I'm gonna hit extend. You can hear it opening. You want to keep an eye out on your seat. If you are like a taller person and you have your seat leaned back, your slide out will rub against the seat and it could damage the wood, or it can scuff up the back of the seat. So keep that in mind. This particular type of slide outs, they really don't like to be stopped midway through. You can do it if you have to. And then once they get all the way open, hold your button down. See, I'm holding it. It's a one touch. Once it's open, hold the button down. And then once it's open, hold it for just a few seconds, let off. Same thing when it's closed. Sorry about the shakiness. That's going to allow the two motors, there's a motor here and a motor there, that's going to allow them to stay in sync. Otherwise, if you had let off the button as soon as it started, you know, being all the way open, as soon as it started being all the way closed, it's going to throw them out of sync, and then eventually it's going to open crooked. Generator stop here, so hold down stop till the light comes on. And start. Well, I didn't hold start long enough. Running. This one only has 36 hours on it. Does that say 36 or 3.6? 3.6 hours on this generator. Not a lot. Perfect. Previous owners must have never hardly ever used it. Now with the generator, if you're going to use your generator, let's say you pull into a campground and you're like, oh no power, and you want to run your AC or whatnot, start your generator, let it run for a few minutes before you kick on any high amp drawing appliances like your microwave or your AC. Just like your car, your generator needs to warm up before you can apply a load to it, so let it warm up. Same thing, do not stop your generator while an appliance is running off of it. So shut off your AC, shut everything else off, and then you can shut your generator off. Propane levels is what we read here. They won't be perfectly accurate, but it's a good idea. It'll give you a good indicator of where it is. Battery, fresh, like the fresh is draining now, black and gray. This is yours. We'll make sure they just get dumped before you guys take it. Water pump. So, since I was showing you the onboard fresh tank, for you to use water from that tank that you fill it, you have to turn on your water pump. And you can hear it. You turn it on, your water is going to be pumping from that pump, from that fresh tank, and you'll be able to use it. When you first turn the pump on, you're going to hear it run, and then the system will pressurize, and then then it'll shut off. Then anytime you open a fixture, the pump will kick back on. The pump is, I believe, underneath here if you ever need to maintenance it. Yeah, there ain't enough water in the fresh tank. Just trying to fill our water heater. Speaking of water heaters, water heater on propane. So this is a propane only water heater. So turn it on, it'll light on gas, and then the burner will cycle on and off to help regulate the temperature of the water. Very simple. We'll come down. I didn't really explain much here. So you got some light switches. This one is your main interior light. One on your left is these blue LED awning lights. The top one is your controls for your awning. So that extends. Does not stop automatically when it's out, so let off the button when it reaches it. Otherwise, you'll end up rolling the awning in. You'll just roll in the fabric the wrong way around the tube, so it'll be backwards. So when you see that flap come out, just like that, when I like to see that white tag kind of looking at me, then I'm all the way open. Come over here. You can adjust it right here. Pull down to adjust pitch. So if it's raining, you can have water run off to the edge. If it's getting really windy, really rainy, roll your awning in. It's not worth risking it. And if you roll it in wet, as soon as you get the chance to, roll it back out so it can dry. You have a step light, so that's what that's labeled as. It just turns this light on and off. There might even be another light on that step. Yep, so it turns that one on too. Good at night, so you don't accidentally trip. You know, it'll help kind of illuminate the stairwell. They're a little slow to go in, but they're going. Perfectly perfect. Come up. We'll kind of go to the cab area. We'll start with this whole thing right here. Ooh, that's the brightness. This can be removed, so you can take this up and put it somewhere else. The ladder is for that too. And then believe the top area has a 500-pound capacity. Let's see. Yep. So 500 pounds up here. Swing out TV. So loosen this, swing it out, and then you'll have remotes and whatnot to be able to use a TV. Up in there, Looks like it appears to be a Sony Blu-ray player that's running to this TV. It might even have 2 outputs and running to each TV. The one in the bed, I believe there's one in the bedroom. Yep. So it might have an output, so you can play the same movie on both TVs. Coming down through here, I'm gonna kind of tell you guys as much as I can about the cab. I'm gonna scoot back though, because it's a little tight for me. Alright, so let's let the phone kind of auto. Okay, so this is your radio. Very simple to use. Touch screen, you can just tap through the channels. So there's your volume control right there. Presets down here, so let's see if I wanted to say this is preset push and hold. Now it is a preset number 4. This believes, what is it? Oh, that changes the brightness of the monitor. That's your equalizer for different sound settings. And then you have a settings menu right there. You can go home. You can you have a radio, Bluetooth music, so if you want to pair your phone to that, you can listen to it that way. Rear camera, so pull that up. Rear view camera right there, so if you can have it so it's always on, so when you're driving down the road you can see behind you, because this thing has a rear view mirror, but you don't really, but once the slide out's closed, you can't really see much behind that window back there. So if you're sick of that, just go home, select mode again, go back to the radio. AVN, that's not hooked up to this, it's on the back of the radio. Auxiliary in, that is right here. And again, your settings menu, Bluetooth phone, so you has a Bluetooth hands-free calling in here, so if you need to make a phone call, you don't have to worry about, you know, crashing because you're fumbling with your phone. USB, that's just this charger right here, and there's HDMI pass-through through here too. And that's this dual mirror right there. Yep, pretty simple, pretty easy to use radio. You can select your band, so you can have more than one set of presets. If you like AM radio, you can listen to AM radio too. I'm sorry, it's really hard to see, it's glare. But very simple, and if you forget anything I tell you, it's in the manual, and these are very common aftermarket radios for these campers. We're actually going to stick these keys in there, show you a little bit about the chassis bit of it. So it's a Ford chassis, an E chassis, a van, you know. So, get your lights up there, your display. Here's your running lights, so no automatic lights, you have to turn them on manually. You'll see your dimness, so you can change the dashboard adjustment. So turn that on light, you can see how it's dimming it. And if I go, it also does the radio too. See? If I go, pretty simple, huh? Easy. Reset your trip meter right there, down there. It's also your select for the menu. AC and climate control is very easy here. You got your fan controls. You got your AC, so AC or furnace. Then you got your vent, so max AC, normal AC, vent, so it's gonna vent some air off, floor, mixed, so floor and feet, rear defrost, off. 12 volt, so you guys can charge your phones up here. There's also a USB charger for charging your phones. And then if you look, these are neat features. I mean, they didn't always used to have it. Now they pretty much all come with it. Right down there is an emergency start. So if your chassis battery, that's the one that's underneath the hood, that really doesn't tie into your camper or anything like that. If that were to die, you hold this emergency start button. You can hear that relay click. Now divert power to your house batteries. So you can use your house batteries to start your chassis, which is interesting. It's neat. It's a safety feature, more about safety and whatnot. Your fuel tank. So if this is ever below a quarter of the tank, your generator will not work. And if your generator is running and it happens to drop below a quarter tank, it'll shut off. That's a safety feature. So if you were out in the middle of nowhere and you're running your generator, you wouldn't be able to run yourself dry. So it'd leave you with fuel to be able to drive to a station and get some more. Wow. light switch up here. Those 2 lights there, and then each of those lights have a silver button that you click to turn on and off. This does turn into a bed. So you come down here, see this little lever, flip it over, push straight down on the bed. Obviously, you'd move these cushions out of the way so that your bed can rest, the table can rest here. And then you're just going to use these cushions to fill in the gap. And then you have a platform to sleep on. I always tell people, when you're going to do it, if you want it to be a little bit comfortable, maybe throw an air mattress on it or like a foam pad, because these aren't the most comfortable things in the world. I'm going to set this down 1 second. If I had 3 hands, I'd be able to do it, but I don't have 3 hands. Come over here. Microwave works just like any other standard household microwave. Cooktop, turn to light, twist sparker, lights it up. The gas is off. And we already burn all the gas out of the line, so they won't light right now, excuse me. But that's how you light the burners. Your oven's a bit different. You're going to turn that to pilot, push and hold. As you're pushing and holding, you're going to go down in there, so you'll have this to pilot like it is. Push and hold, and then right back in there's a little pilot. Get you a barbecue lighter, hold it up to there, hold the pilot down. Once it's lit, take your hand out of there, hold the button down a little bit longer to make sure that it stays lit. Let go of it, it should remain lit. After you're good, then you can turn your burner on. It's going to light the burner up. Your burner will cycle on and off as your stove is on to help regulate the temperature. If you want to turn it off but not kick your pilot off, if you turn it to pilot, shuts the burner off, but it'll leave the pilot lit. So all you have to do next time is kick it back on. Definitely recommend turning off your pilot at night or before you leave your trailer unattended. Folding glass cooktop. Kind of double as some more counter space, but you know, it's glass. You don't want to do anything to scratch it up. So I wouldn't put any appliances on there unless they do make, like, a lot of people take like wooden cutting boards and glue those rubber mats to them, stick them on there so it doesn't slide around, and they can use it as a counter space. Fold out little drawer there. Another drawer. I'm looking for your TV remotes. TV remotes. Just so you guys know where they are. They're probably over here. Yep, so there's that TV back there. This is for the TV in the bedroom. Right there. So everything's spread out. Your refrigerator works like a standard refrigerator. So auto is going to be on electric. Off is off, and then gas is going to be gas. But the neat thing about auto is it knows if it has 120 or not. I'm going to turn this off for now. So if it's on auto and your camper's plugged in, it's going to run 120. But if, let's say, at the campground we lose power or someone would accidentally unplug you, this is going to automatically switch to running off of propane for you. Keep your food cool, you know, just in case. The neat thing about that is you can have your food cool while you're driving down the road because you can have your propane on. You can even have your generator on when you're driving down the road and have it run off of the electric. But regardless, whether you're running gas or electric, this will take about 6 to 8 hours to get cold. So if you can plug it in at home using a 30 to 15 amp adapter, and then you could have it running, getting cold the night before. That way, before your trip, it's already cold. If you are going to adapt that far down, definitely don't recommend using your AC and your microwave at the same time because you won't trip any breakers in the camper, but you'll trip the ones at your house because you're drawing more than that 15 amp plug can take. Here, more lights up there, speakers in there and whatnot for the radio. Lights here. Here's your switch form there. Thermostat, very simple to use. Cool is going to run the AC. Got your temperature here. Fan is just going to run the fan on the AC. Off, and then heat. Then you have fan modes, auto high and low, and on high and low. I recommend leaving on auto. It's going to allow the compressor on your AC to cycle on and off at your set temperature, so it keeps it from freezing up and shutting itself off. Easy peasy. Coming through the bathroom. There ain't a whole heck of a lot in here. Your shower. removable shower head for the hard to reach spaces. It is nice that they give you like a skylight. It's pretty deep, so if you are taller, you can stand up in here. Your shower door, clip them on there like that. Stays open. Do not travel with it like that. It will just kind of open itself, close itself, or I guess it would be opening itself. And don't let it fling close. Slowly let it go in. There you go. Prevent any damage. Your toilet is just like a lot of RV toilets. There is a foot pedal here as long as you're pushing it down. Continues to flush, and then after you let off, it will fill the bowl up with just a little bit of water. If you just push it a little bit, see how there's still play in this, but it's not actually flushing. So that play, you can flush, it'll fill the bowl up with some water. So you, after you've done your business, you can fill the bowl up with halfway with water and then flush it all the way so something can back flush your waste. Medicine cabinet, storage in there for all kinds of goodies. Some campers don't have storage behind their mirrors. That's nice that this one does. Handle, that's probably, looks to be added aftermarket, but it's always good getting in and out of the shower because sometimes, you know, they're slippery. And then a fan here. So you kick the switch, kick the fan on, open this up. Oop, going the wrong way. Righty is opening it, lefty loosey's closing it. They do make covers that you can put over this that allows you to leave this lid open, but not like water, not let water get into it. It's called a MaxxAir vent cover. So if you opted for one of those, just ask our parts guy for one of them. Then you got this clothes rack built into the back of the door. Hang up your towels or the clothes you're gonna get ready with. There you go. And then this is just a vent, so it's the same thing, but it does not have a fan on it. All right. A few more bits and bobs. You have a smoke alarm up there. That's a standard 9-volt battery. If that goes out on you, starts chirping, throw a new 9-volt in here. This is your antenna. You just push up and twist if you're trying to tune in a signal for your antenna. Another vent here. Again, this is just a vent, no fan. Then you have kind of like a divider there, so if whoever's sleeping up there can have some privacy. A little more bits and bobs. This opens up. These slide out storage and whatnot. Perfect. Keep stuff tucked away. Got your breaker box here. So these has all your breakers for your 110 stuff. Right there, all your breakers and all your fuses for your 12-volt. Definitely recommend buying a spare fuse kit. You can get a good look at what's in there. Some 15s, a 5, a 30, and 240s. And then down there is a carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. That is hardwired to the 12-volt system, so there are no batteries you have to worry about changing with that. This, before you close your slide out, you have to take this section of this cushion and fold it back. Then you can close it. Because this part stays stationary and the bed rises on it. And if you had it open, it's going to crush against the wall. It could probably damage the wall. So to keep that in mind. Alrighty then. That concludes your virtual tour of your 2018 Freedom Elite. Hope you found the video informative. The nice thing about having these video walks is you can always go back and reference them if you thought I forgot anything, or if you thought you forgot anything, you know. If you thought I forgot anything, make a comment down below. Till next time.